So this video will be answering the question of why do I use the morphing method that requires so many different art textures, and seemingly it's a lot of effort. Why don't I use the traditional method that almost all Live2D sample models are using? They only use one set of texture for the mouth or the eyes, and that's all they need for doing all kinds of expressions. Why can't I just stick with one art texture, and why do I use the morphing method? What's the downside of morphing methods or the traditional method? Well, for the morphing method, it would require multiple textures, that's right, for the mouth and maybe for the eyes. But and then there's also major weakness is that when it transform from one shape to another, when it morphs, sometimes if you don't put in enough effort, you will see half transparent images of different shapes showing up and breaking the whole mouth part into a broken image. So you completely ruin the expression if you don't put enough effort in the morphing method. So that's a shortcoming. What about the traditional method? Now, you're looking at the Epsilon model, one of the official sample from Live2D, and let's see what it does. First of all, you can download it from the official website, and if you look into the texture, you will see that what she have right here is only one upper piece, one lower piece, and one inner piece, and then the teeth. All right, and that's the four pieces that make into this mouth, and this mouth can do all kinds of forms and shapes. All right, so there's the happy one, open, close, the normal mouth, open, close, and then there's the frowning mouth, open, close. All right, so when you zoom out in a normal zoom, 100%, you don't notice much problem with this. But if you zoom in, even for a model that's done by an experienced rigger or Live2D user, you still see some of slight glitches happening here and there. You see what I'm talking about? Now the form it does make the shape, but it seems like there's some angles and there's some stretching right here. And it is way more obvious for first-timers or new users. All right, you would have more trouble. You would see more of these bad parts showing up in your model than from this one. And again, it would require a lot of efforts to refine the problem. Especially this, the corner of the mouth. Sometimes it wouldn't fit nicely when it open and close. If you do the closing right, the open would be wrong. If you do the opening wrong, then the closing would be like, if you do the opening right, the closing would be wrong, or it just does not work for one of the shapes at all. So there are a lot of problems, and everyone, all users, and including myself, I'm still trying to figure out what's best, what's more efficient, what's less work, what is more smooth when doing all the animations. All right. And currently, I've been using the morphing method, but let's spend this episode talk about the traditional way. All right, so I'm going to do some experiment. I will close this first. I will use a simple texture here, this mouth, and try to do all kinds of different shapes. All right, so well, not all kinds. I'll do the basic one, like there's the happy and the frowning. And then let's look at other art style, because in some anime or manga or some other art styles, people use some mouthpiece that are broken. Like it cuts up a segment right here on the side. It could be just a dot on the side or something like that. Some of the art style have the middle part broken up. And maybe it's better because now that you can treat two different parts separately, and that would lower the chance of breaking apart because you have more flexibility, double like only half of the same piece of mouth. All right, so we got these to test, and we also have questions like, what do we do with these? What do you do with these cat or animal mouth? What about this sharp angle frowning mouth? What about the very happy U-shaped kind of mouth? How do we do them, and how does it look if we just do it normally? Okay, so let's get into Modeler and let's see how things work. All right, so let's start with taking out one piece of mouth, the basic one, and I'll move it over here. So as you can see, this is the mouth that I'll be using. This might be the default character design, and I took it in, and now I am to give the character a happy mouth and a frowning mouth. So how are we going to do it? Let's put it over the guide image down here for the happy mouth, and let's try to make the smile. Now it's also a good time to see what happens if you don't have enough polygons or vertices, same thing. So now that we have just one vertex in the middle of the whole thing, and the frame is done by these 4 angles, okay? And you know what happens if this go beyond the border of what holds the outer border of the texture? Is that it would not show the bottom polygon parts. So all the polygons that are completely hidden from the border will also hide its own texture. So you see this part cut off sharply is because it no longer is within the border of display. All right, so what happens if we try to make a smile lips out of this? Remember that we need to use a path tool, and we simply have to shape the path identical to the guide image, and things should work out. However, it doesn't work in this case, right? I'm going to delete the path. You can see this is the best the path tool can do. It cannot stretch anything within the same polygon. So this triangle right here is one polygon, and the path tool cannot reshape it. All it does is transforming the polygons, but the texture itself is not distorted in any dynamic way. It's very linear inside. All right, so what happens, how do we fix that, and what happens if we have more vertices? So let's give it a try. Let's back up the steps, and then let's try to give it more vertices this time. I'm going to double the amount, or pressing this divide polygon into 4. So this is the automatically generated polygons right here, 4 times more. And let's see how it works this time. And let's shape this. What do you think? Much better, but we still have a part cut out, and this is a sharp angle. It's obvious right here. And if you look at the polygon, this is exactly where the 2 triangle sides meet. So it cannot transform anything within this triangle, cannot transform anything in this triangle. What was a straight line would still remain a straight line within that polygon. What changes is this part. Alright, so, and why does it have a lot of stretching for beginners' first attempt? Well, look at this. If you enlarge a particular triangle or polygon, it would stretch out the image like a JPEG, trying to, doubling size of JPEG by transforming its shape, and that's what you get. You get soft gradients, you lose the sharpness of the line, and you will start to have imbalanced weight or width of the parts. So this part might be very sharply nice cut on the edge, and this part is all like blurry edge and soft edges. Now that's a problem if you move particular or specific vertex too much, that it creates contrast between the neighboring polygons. Okay, I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but sort of that idea. But my point is to have this problem solved is to again add more vertices. So let's give it 2 times more, like this, or maybe I'll just do this. Now I'm starting to see a lot of wasted polygons around this area because this whole segment is totally like selecting nothing from the texture. So let's try to erase them with the eraser. Thank you. Click dragging. This is the eraser tool, by the way. I just left click and drag and I'll delete all the vertices, and if there's no vertices, there's no polygons. Okay, so I guess about that is enough. So I deleted a lot of vertices and polygons, but still I keep the whole texture selected. And then I press OK. Now I have this piece. Now let's see how does this work. Maybe I'll add another point here to improve the curve a little bit more. And like you see, this is a very fairly smooth arc comparing to the previous 2 attempts, right? Because now it has more polygons to allow more distortion to happen and more protection in individual parts, individual polygons. All right, but again, if you have this polygon stretching beyond the border, you'll still have parts cut off, or you see sharp edges, or imbalance width of this whole piece right here. All right, so the trick is you don't want to move too much manually, and try to rely on the architecture of these polygons in order to do the job for you, and try to restrain yourself from making too many moves in one texture, so that if you can cut down to just like one path tool could do the whole job, then let it be. Do not further move any polygons. Do not further select multiple and try to do tricky things yourself, because this is only giving you more chance to distort parts like that. All right, so that is the reason. Unless you're more experienced with it, then maybe you have better control in micromanagement. Otherwise, you want to keep it simple. If this doesn't work, you want to change anything, it's easy. Just do it again, give it another path tool, and just reshape it anytime you want. All right, so rely on a tool, rely on architectures, do not manually do things, but that's the trick. Now there's also a matter of efficient architecture. All right, so currently this is generated automatically when you press divide polygons into 4. But is this the best way to handle a piece of material? Or what if you also know that each piece of material only allows you to have so many polygons or vertices created, right? So sometimes you reach the maximum amount, but you still need more. How do you cannot divide any further, or it would break apart. So what do? Well, there's also a matter of efficient architecture. So let's give it a try. Or actually, I am going to hide this and I'll create a new one. This time I'll manually input the polygons. So I'll first do alright, I'll do this. This. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Okay. Alright, so I'll do this sort of a zigzag thing that I always do in my tutorials. And in fact, this is one of the method I learned from those Live2D official seminars videos that were in Japanese, but I sort of pick up this method that it's one of the things that they suggest the users to do is to try to do this zigzag thing and trying to keep things in squares or rectangular or the right proportion. Like if you make this, this and this are better to be similar rectangles, diamond shapes, all right? Because the more tidy the pattern is, the better control of path tool and all kinds of, or even for yourself, for manually micro managing those dots, it's easier for yourself. So try to keep it in a nice distribution. Do not have like a bunch of dots right here, but very empty over here. You know, even distribution is always helpful. So the zigzag method, and it's gone. Oh, never mind. I hide the whole. I didn't mean to hide the whole thing. I just want to hide the first texture. Okay, so I move it here. Now let's compare to texture. This method has way less amount of vertices comparing to this one. And let's see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to lock the first one. Actually, I will turn down the, I'm just going to turn it invisible. And then I'll have the path tool to do the job. Give it a little point here, stretch it a little bit, and do that thing. And also you can see that right here, that this part seems to have more stretching than this part. This part is a little bit squished. Because you can see this, if I have distributed things evenly, this rectangle should be about the same shape as this one, shape and size, but obviously this one's being stretched a little bit, so it hints you that something is a little bit off. And that might be due to really the moment when you drop those path points, just a little bit off and a little bit uneven comparing to the left side, then right side might result something completely different. All right, so let's try to loosen up the tension over here a little bit by just shifting things over from this side to that side. Oops. Remember to do the outside dots as well. And this one and this one. So this sort of helped a little bit. Right, so I'm going to deselect this. And unfortunately I do see a little bit of a not so smooth outcome, a little bit crooked over here, mainly because I don't have enough polygons in this area. And let's compare it to the original one, or the one that I made earlier. Alright, so this one is the one with more polygons and is automatically generated, looks smooth. The other one, not so smooth, but this relatively has much less amount of polygons. However, this is a structure that I take control over. It's something that I designed myself, and you can design your own, and that might improve the efficiency of your vertices. All right, so that could give you more control. And if that works for you, you can go with it, or you can add more polygons. In fact, after you have the basic structure, right, and then you divide it by 4, it will still follow generally your own structure. At this point, I can do some manual changes. Like I can use the soft selection tool, and I see this part has a straight line, so I will select this area and I'll just move this part a little bit, maybe a little bit too much, but good. Again, I'll do it this area, give it a soft transition. I give it a hard one, but if it's not done evenly, then it might get things out of balance furthermore. So I'm moving these points. There you go, a little bit better than the earlier one. All right, so this is how polygons work, and this is how the non-morphing method work. It sort of gives you the shape, right? It sort of gives you the shape, and it's more smooth if you have the transition. So let's try to, in fact, let's go ahead and create a frowning. Let's get a set of perimeter for this part. All right, so let's go for mouth open. Give it a 0, 0.5, and 1. Actually, no, it's mouth deform. So I got 3 points. This is the happy form. I need the normal shape and the frowning shape. So let's do this, 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 and this. First I'll do the flat one. Would be better if I have a guide image right here, but I'm not gonna move it down, so I'm just gonna give it a rough guess. All right. So let me hide the path, and this is, oh shoot, I forgot to set up deformer. Did I? Actually I did. All right, so I got this, smile and flat, smile and flat. Now let's do the frowning one. All right, so let's go to the frowning key value, and let's give the path tool another go. Move this down, down. Okay, so I got this, and this, this, and this. So it seems okay if you give it enough polygons and vertices. The problem is that, what if you have a lips that is not like a very clear outline? What if it's like something close to the skin color? Or you don't even have an outline for your lips. It's just when she talks, she has like lipstick color, or there's no clear outline with it, or there's no line art for the mouth when she's talking. You know, there's all kinds of art style out there. May not end up the same as what you're looking at right now, and some of the lips are more complicated. Like they have, let me think. They may have corners sort of downwards. If we can show you with, yeah, if we can show you with this. Ooh, okay. So maybe you have some kind of lips like that. How do you do that? And what if you have like broken pieces? What's better for that, you know? With this method or the morphing method, all right? So you gotta give things a little try, and you see what's best for yourself, because you know different users may have different you know, feelings to things. And this is one method. I've tried it before. I just sometimes prefer morphing method because it usually adapts to different kind of art style more easily. All right, so, and let's try to, for the rest of the episode, I'll try to do some other lips and see how it works. So let's say I have a broken up lip shape, and in fact that's actually much better. So I've done another project with it, so I'll move this over, and let's give this a try. All right, so I'll take out this, and I will get another texture, pull it out from here. Now I'll take this one piece, okay, and I'll take another one, all right. Okay, so I have these two pieces separated, and I'll select both of them, move them over here. All right, so this is kind of the face that I have to make. I have to transform this shape into that shape. So how do I do that? Let's do them one by one and see how it works. All right, so let's go to mouth deform, give them 3 dots, and let's give them some vertices. I will use my own method to distribute those dots. It's a little bit overkill for this short or this small piece to have that many dots, but just to prove that more dots make a difference. and there. Actually, go all the way here. And that. I don't even need to care about those out there, but I guess I'll do the automatically generate points to eliminate all the non-triangular polygons. So I got this. Is in the guide image area. Yeah, it's in the wrong spot. Let's move these to the mouth part. And now we will transform this. I guess I can go with this. There. For the other part, well, I gotta check. Alright, so I got this moving like that, and I'll do the other part as well. This mouth. Again, I'll give it a lot of vertices. Actually, I'll give it reasonable amount. I can foresee there's some stretching and distortion. So I basically, whoa, how do I end up with that? Okay, let me, not what I wanted. I didn't mean a vertical one. Sometimes the automatically generate polygon button function would screw up the architecture that you designed. I definitely wanted a horizontal one and didn't want a vertical development right there. So let's have the path tool to go over it, and let's put it in place. Oh, wait a minute. First I need to, have I given it yeah, I need more. I need the deformer. I mean, I need the parameter. Alright, so I got the parameter set up. This is the happy face, and let's go. Doesn't look too good. Yep, doesn't look too good because we don't have enough vertices right here. So the left side we have more vertices, the right side we don't have enough, and some reason it does not move because why? I somehow lost the parameter. Well, regardless, this is the idea, is that this is a smooth one with more vertices, this one is not so good. Alright, so you decide how much effort you want to put in shaping the vertices, how much effort you want to put in morphing different shapes, or you know where your skills want to develop in. Alright, so or you gotta think what is better for which art style, because you might not be working anything close to something like this. All right, but generally, if you can break it into two, obviously you get more advantage because you're doubling the amount of control per part of the lips, and you don't have to make the ultimate curve in the middle, which breaks everything the most. You can just break a little bit here, break a little bit there, and that would complete the whole mouth. All right, this part in the middle not so good, but still the same idea. Or if you're lazy, you can always treat it as one piece. It will still work out. Now the question are these, all right? These are still questions out there that we require case-by-case studies to figure out what's best for it. This one, I've done one model before with this kind of lips, and I end up with the morphing method, and that solved my problem. I don't see myself using one piece and try to distort this one into this one, all right? That's almost impossible, all right? Without breaking up a lot of things. Unless I throw in a lot of effort, again, effort can always, could always save the world. But what we're trying to do is try to save effort, or else we don't need Live2D at all. We can use traditional animating methods, right? So yeah, we are still, everyone should still talk about the methods that they come up with and go brave and try to explore more methods and try to share it and discuss about it, and we'll try to as a community we can develop more things over time. All right, so tell me what you think, tell me if you understand anything or don't understand anything. I can further explain it to you. If you want to do a case study, you can share me a link to a picture of the character that you want to make, and we can see what kind of method that I would recommend you to try out. All right. So I guess that's about it for this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.